Any and all sites of this sort should be burnt to the ground. Any and all research associated with this should be scrapped and destroyed, utterly destroyed. And the same applies to anybody who's taking part in these tactics. Stands to reason. But no one's doing a goddamn thing to stop this. Same applies to every single fucking agenda you could think of. Things are getting worse, they're not getting better. And they're not going to unless people pull their heads out of their fucking ass and quit acting like a bunch of goddamn retards. In other words, act like an adult for the first time in your life. And most people think that they are, they assume they are, they believe that they are, but they have not begun the journey. You and I have masters, we're in somebody else's pocket. Are you part of society? Are you jumping through a bunch of fucking hoops? Are you playing the game? Are you technically walking in lockstep? The answer is yes. But most people haven't fucking figured this out because they have their heads up their fucking asshole. Oh, and as always, what the fuck do I know?
To contain edible vaccines is well underway. Work is being done with bananas, potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, rice, wheat, soybeans, and corn. Companies like Medicago are using gene editing to turn plants into mini bioreactors.
Medicago's manufacturing facility looks like a nursery, but inside these plants, they're growing a new kind of vaccine. The technology is called a virus-like particle.
At Medicago, we use a careful step-by-step process to develop vaccines, using our plants as mini bioreactors. We start with the gene sequence or code of a virus. We then use our technology to synthesize the virus code into a real biological product. The code contains genetic instructions that our plants can read, and we insert it into bacteria called Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We submerge the plants in a bath with the bacteria that carries the information into the plant cells. And using a vacuum, we suck out the air between the plant cells and replace it with the liquid. The plants absorb it like a sponge. At the end of their bacterial bath, we return our plants to a carefully controlled greenhouse to let them get on with their natural growing business for at least 4 days. Now the plants will start producing the most important ingredient of our vaccines, virus-like particles.
Gene editing is now officially in our meat industry. Lobbyists for the cattlemen and pork associations in several states have confirmed that they will be using the mRNA COVID vaccines on their livestock. Attorney Tom Renz has been warning that there is no law requiring anyone to give informed consent for vaccine food. There are no laws requiring anyone to tell you the food you are buying has been vaxxed with the spike protein clot shot. The UK recently passed into law the Genetic Technology Precision Breeding Bill. The bill amends the Environmental Protection Act of 1990 to exclude references to precision-bred organisms so far as they relate to marketing. Precision-bred organism is another term for gene-edited. So now in the UK, food that's been gene-edited can be legally marketed as non-GMO. And if this UK gene-edited meat makes its way to America, it can be labeled non-GMO here as well. And so long as it's butchered in America, it can be labeled product of USA. The fake alternative meat being pushed by Bill Gates and others is made of immortal cell lines. In other words, cancerous tumor cells. Real meat is being blamed for climate change. And a recent independent study suggests that most of our meat is already contaminated. Using infrared spectroscopy and electron microscopy, Dr. Anna Maria Mialcia has been studying the blood of the vaxxed and the unvaxxed for over a year now. And at first, she was finding the same contamination in only the blood of the vaxxed, a contamination that she describes as ribbon-like structures, much like the mysterious blood clots being found by coroners. But lately she's been finding these ribbon-like structures in the blood of the unvaxxed as well. By measuring the frequency of one of these mysterious rubbery blood clots, Dr. David Jenigan has developed a way of detecting the same frequency in the vaxxed. Recently, he's found this unique frequency in the meat being sold in his local grocery store and asked Dr. Mielcia to confirm his findings. Her microscopy showed that the blood samples taken from products in the grocery store were all contaminated with the similar ribbon-like structures found in the blood of the vaxxed. Most of the meat in the grocery store is from overseas, and if we want to eat uncontaminated meat, we'll have to start buying direct from farms in America that still produce all-natural organic protein and take back control of our democidal government. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
You really got to appreciate that. This jazz is also controlled opposition. It's been infiltrated. You can't trust it. It's still going to disseminate lesser magic because our masters are pulling the strings of this nonsense. You could also look at, this here. It's very fucking telling, as is the case with this. And it's not just some Joe Blow that fucking designed it and is utilizing it, is the point. It's the very people that are putting fucking you-know-what into the fucking food supply. But people don't realize this. They turn to these things as resources for information, just like putting the control of our food supply in our master's hands. And not rising up and doing the right thing in the beginning to see that that never fucking took place. What I'm getting at, what I'm driving at, is people are fucking stupid and not doing the right thing. In fact, they are doing nothing. And usually I rattle off, complacency got us this far and then some. Oh, but what the fuck do I know? This should come up too. Remind me, which boys club is it that emphasizes the letter G in their logo? Is it the Freemasons? Is there currently an agenda associated with the rainbow? Also involving letters? That's a bit of a spurious correlation, and yet it's not. If you think of ABC, NBC, CBS, the alphabet agencies associated with, the FBI, the CIA, etc., etc., etc. Our masters aren't terribly clever. But their methods do work because most people are below average. Well below average. And willing to fall into fucking lockstep.